What is up, guys? Eric here with TeamEccenTrick, and I'm bringing you guys my regional Thunder Dragon deck profile that bubbled at the Columbus, Ohio regional. I was literally so close to top 64. I was literally one match away. I was X3 in 10 rounds of Swiss, all the way up until the very last round in the 10th match, where I lost to Pendulum Endymion. He just set up boards that I couldn't break. It was really, really rough. He lava golemed me in game 2, by the way, because I had Titan, Colossus, and then Beat Cop, which is also a mistake, by the way. I'll show you guys why. But regardless, I feel as if all that being noted, the deck did perform rather well, and to be honest, I really did enjoy playing this deck. It's one of the powerhouse decks of the format, obviously, but I really didn't expect it to perform as well as it did. All that being noted, I'm going to do the main deck, extra deck, side deck. I'm also going to go a little bit into my matchups. Some of them at least, some of the ones that I remember most of all, and I also will be switching in some cards for you guys to see. That way you guys can see that I'm trying to update this deck. Even though the ban list is around the corner, I figure that these cards will still be relevant at least until April, so why not? But regardless, let's get into it. So first and foremost is the main deck. So obviously we're playing the triple OG Thunder Dragon. This just allows you to convert whatever Thunder you have on board into Colossus. And then obviously triple Hawk, triple Dark, triple Roar, triple Matrix, and double Duo. Honestly, this lineup was pretty successful in my opinion. I mean, it's the standard lineup, and that's I think why it's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it type deal. I originally was actually going to play BLS over one of the duos, but I decided that having accessibility to all of my searches and being able to search or add duo instead, or add duo back off of like a Roar instead of having BLS and having it be like one of those really weird sacky one-ups. I feel like that's just kind of better. I mean, I could always just play both the duos and still put in a BLS over something else, but I just really like having accessibility to all of my search cards. So our normal summons were triple Battery Man Solar, double Aloof Lupine. This lineup actually performed rather well. Aloof, I don't like drawing. I don't like playing more than one, maybe two of it. I mean, two of it was a little bit weird, but it still managed to function really well. You don't want to see multiples of Aloof in your hand, generally speaking. So, like, when I see one, it's already a starter. But like, you just want Thunders in your hand. And that being noted, Batteryman Solar, in my opinion, is still kind of the better card. But Aloof really did perform in that whenever you drew Dragon Dark or Dragon Roar, this allows you to basically chain block given that its effect resolves. And then next were hand traps. Now, the hand traps were a little bit iffy, but I really just felt like these were the most relevant since I didn't at the time own Phantasma's. So starting off triple Nibiru, your deck plays a little bit more of a slower kind of beatdown game, I'd say. Like you summon Colossus, Titan, you try and, reduce your opponent's advantage as much as you can. And if you can't do that, if they're going first, then you just try and drop Nibiru on them. And Nibiru, honestly, like the card is amazing. The card overperformed, to be quite honest. I think there was only one game where it actually cost me the game to Nibiru, but either way, it was still really good. In most other scenarios. The second good promo is Triple Dimension Shifter. Now, I don't really care for this card all that much, to be quite honest, because it's dead after turn 0. It's really not very good. It's good in the scenarios where you draw it, where you open it, and you can start off with it, but other than that, like, the card is dead then and thereafter. So, to be honest, I was kind of troubled by this lineup, but either way, I needed something to fill the gap to have another 3 hand traps, and I figured D-Shifter at least turns my Solars into walking Gold Sarks, which is relevant. So, and then last but not least, triple Ash Blossom. And obviously, I know a lot of people are questioning why Ash Blossom, why not like Valor or something like that. The reason why is because Valor doesn't necessarily work on Orcus cards in the graveyard, which is funny because I actually didn't play against a single Orcus player. But regardless, this was still really relevant. When your opponent has Orcus Nightmare or Orcus Harp Horror engraved and you need to stop it, Ash is there for you. Valor does not, obviously, because it's not on the board. So that is it for my entire monster lineup. Now we're getting into the spells in the main deck. So we have triple Allure of Darkness. We've got to draw cards. Drawing cards is nice. Not only that, this effectively becomes a Pot of Greed if you have Dark Aurora in hand. So then after that, double Thunder Dragon Fusion. I would have played 3 of this, but honestly I feel like that kind of clogs a little bit. So 2 I think is fine. Same with Instant Fusion. Just 2 Instant Fusion. I was thinking of bumping it back up to 3 because I was playing 3 for a while, but to be honest with you, you draw multiples and then the card is dead in your hand, so just 2. 1 Gold Sark, obviously, the really good one of, and then 1 Monster Reborn because Batteryman Solar combined with this is effectively still combo. So, that is it for the monsters and spells. Effectively the whole main deck. Now we're getting into the extra deck. So, I'll show you some of the cards that I feel like maybe were bad calls and were kind of problematic to my entire strategy. So we have triple Colossus. That's pretty standard. You know, you obviously play triple Colossus. I think this card's probably going to go to 1, and if it does, honestly, the deck is probably not going to be as good. However, in a scenario where this would go to 1, you're going to have to maximize on Thunder Dragon Fusion and play 3 Titans so that you can keep shuffling back the Colossus as one of your fusion materials to summon the Titan, and then you summon the Colossus back. So that's a possibility, but you know, it really all kind of depends on the ban list. From there, at this regional, I played 2 Titan. Honestly, Titan was really more so the MVP of my extra deck than Colossus was. In most games, there were games where Colossus was obviously more imperative, but Titan was really just that card. It really literally just allowed me to clear boards and just go in for games, so this card was really busted. After that, Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. This was a Super Poly target. I never even sided in Super Polys, so honestly this never came up, which is unfortunate because I was expecting to play against more Orcus players. I figured that this would probably be the last event that I would attend that Orcus would be legal, so, but never even came up. 1 Kaminari attack, obviously, so you can go right into your Titan and start popping stuff. 1 Thousand Eyes Restrict, 2 Steal stuff, and go into Link Revo. So that is it for fusion monsters. For the links, 1 Borlo Dragon to steal stuff in the mirror match. 1 BLS Link because it's BLS Link, it's really good. 1 Unicorn to bounce stuff. 1 Nightmare Phoenix to pop back row. Beat Cop. This card was one of the cards that I think I should have taken out, as well as the Starving Venom. Those are 2 cards that I feel like literally didn't really add to any of my combos or any really do much. The Starving Venom and the Beat Cop really just weren't coherent in any way. And then from there, we played 1 Summer Summoner, obviously the Thunder Link. Its effect actually did come up once where it helped me and it pulled me through a game. I made this and then I had a Colossus and then I discarded a card and special summoned the Roar back from grave during my opponent's main phase, and then they attacked over it and then it got me another special summon, so it was pretty decent. And then 1 Link Karibo, obviously, for your Thunder Dragon Matrix. So that is it for the extra deck. Now the side deck. So the side deck, honestly, was actually really pretty decent for the most part. There were some changes I'd make, Super Poly being namely the biggest one, but regardless, so let's get into it. So Triple Veiler. Honestly, this card really actually won me two of my matches. This card's just really good, to be honest. I mean, it's Effect Veiler. Why wouldn't you play it? Granted, Imperm is actually, in my opinion, probably the better card overall, but Veiler is just still pretty decent in my opinion. Then from there, 2 DD Crow. DD Crow mostly for Salamangreat, to be honest with you. I apologize if I sound tired, by the way, guys. I'm really exhausted. I didn't really get too much sleep after the regional and everything. We had to drive back to Buffalo, New York from Ohio, so I'm really exhausted. But regardless, we will press on. The DD Crows were for Salamangreat. They did come up a few games, and they actually, against 6 Samurai, this was able to pull through for me because I was able to keep them from using one of their monster effects that allowed them to banish 2 monsters to special summon a monster, and I just DD Crowed the monster they targeted. So that's it for the monsters on the side. Now the spells. The most unused card in my side deck, which is surprising because Super Poly is such a good card, but I literally didn't use it. It literally never came up. Not once. And I did side it in 1 match, but it did nothing to the point where I didn't even play it. Like, it was so inconsequential, I literally just I don't think I'm going to play it in this deck anymore. So, moving on, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, obviously, to banish back row, because Babble's a freaking card. True Draco's the deck, so you really want to start clearing out back row, and you don't want to destroy, you want to banish, because even back row has destruction effects nowadays. And then for the traps on the side, now these were, to be honest, the best cards in my side deck all weekend long. Triple evenly matched, double Eradicator, Epidemic Virus. To be honest with you, out of my entire side deck, these were my favorite. These cards are busted because I played against a True Draco's, or a Sky Striker True Draco player, and I set up Colossus Duo, and then I flipped this on him, and I tributed the Duo, so that way he couldn't search as well. And I called spells, and he literally revealed to me 4 spells in his hand, and all he had left was a Ray and and the trap card, the True Draco, the ultra rare trap card. I can't remember exactly what it's called. I play the deck, but I'm an idiot. I can't remember what it's called. Regardless, and that's all he had. So from then on, I was just able to proceed and kill him in game 3. So it was pretty funny. And then evenly matched came up in a few games as well. I played actually some Evil Eye decks. I didn't foresee that deck was going to be at an event. But regardless, I was able, because obviously the deck doesn't really. It has a lot of cards on board with, the Cerzio, the Equip Spell, etc., etc. You just drop the evenly on them, and then that's basically game if it resolves. I drew 2 evenlies. He negated the first one, so we went to the following turn, and I banished everything else. Now, my matchups overall were pretty okay. I actually never mirror matched, not once. My first matchup was against Salamangreat. That was off to a rocky start. Salad, I feel like, is a really bad matchup for Thunder overall, because Magistelio can literally just spin back Colossus. It literally just messes it up. I mean, Colossus can be kind of a hindrance, but it's not such a hindrance in that it ruins everything the deck is trying to do. It just kind of halts the deck in certain lines of play. Also, from there, from Salad, I believe I faced, I can't remember what my round 2 was, but I'll just give you guys the cliff notes, the highlights. So, in one of the matches, I played against Altergeists, and the Altergeist player had a bunch of counter traps. He had like Judgments and Strikes and things like that, and obviously every time I'd make a Colossus or a Titan, he would Strike or Judgment it, and I'm like, okay, fine. So I would keep, and I had the resources to keep summoning and keep putting cards on board. So I kept doing that so that he would, bait out his counter traps to the point where I was able to kill him. Which game 1 I killed him with Thunder Dragon Fusion, making a Titan, and then going in for the attack. And then game 2 I did the same thing effectively, where I baited all of his counter traps in the second turn, and then killed him with duos. So. That is how that match went. Now a match against 6 Samurai. That match, 6 Samurai FTK actually, which was pretty funny. I won the die roll, so I went first. I set up double Colossus Titan, and he said scoop. So we go to game 2, and he basically told me that he would show me his hand at the end of the match. So we played the rest of the match. Game 2, he FTK'd me. Game 3, I was able to kind of grind it out with him a bit. But then after that, he showed me his hand, and the first opening turn in game 1, where I had double Colossus Titan, he had in his hand 3 Smoke Signals and a Rhoda, which literally does nothing. From there, I played against True Draco Striker, which is where the Eradicators came up, and like I said, I called spells, and that ruined him. And on top of that, every time I would make a Titan, I would discard, I would like fuse it with 2 Thunder Dragons in grave, and I'd still have one in hand, and I'd use Thunder Dragon Fusion, fuse 2 Titan or 2 regular Thunder Dragons and whatever else in grave or banished into a Titan, and then I'd just start using those Thunder Dragons and popping off. It's very simple play, but it really is very effective and very impactful in my opinion. So those were just some of the matches. I also played against a Guru Control. Again, Titan was the MVP in that matchup because I just started popping everything he did. From there, let's see, I played against, like I said, Pendulum in round 10. I lost to that, and that's the reason why I didn't top. I played against, there were a few different decks, to be honest with you, but most of them, basically I lost to every Salamangreat player that I played against. Which is unfortunate. This deck really does have kind of a hard time with Salad anyway. I mean, Salad literally just can play around Colossus so easily. Again, it is a hindrance, but it doesn't stifle, it doesn't snuff the deck's complete line of play. So, but that's that for the regional report, basically. I mean, again, it's not very detailed. Now we're going to get into switching out some cards here. So, to be honest with you, I want to switch out these dimension shifters. I really don't like these. I have another regional coming up in February, so depending upon if the ban list does come out by then, which it likely should, but in case it doesn't, we are going to get prepared. We're going to take these dimension shifters out of the main deck, and we're actually going to toss in triple Fantastical Dragon Phantasme, finally. I mean, this card's only going to be relevant for like another 3 months, but to be honest with you, if I plan on going into any events within those 3 months, I really should own these and really should try and utilize these. And even when April 1st hits, it's not as if people aren't going to be link summoning, so this card will still be like at least a decent side deck card, I think, against decks that are mostly link based. So that's it for the main deck. Now the extra deck, the cards that should be coming out. To be quite honest, I'm going to cut Beat Cop and the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. I really just think these cards are so useless. I mean, Beat Cop's just another generic link too, but Starving Venom, like Super Poly, did not even come up, so it just really wasn't that special. But now I'm going to put in IP Masquerena and Apollosa because I can end on a board. If I can end on a board of this, another Link 2, and a Colossus, then I can link up those two into this with a Colossus on board. So I can end on a board of like this, and then, or like, yeah, like Apollosa Colossus. This has 2 negates, so that could be a thing. I mean, obviously, it's really dependent, but we'll have to see how it functions before anything. So, but that is it for this deck profile and small, very minimal tournament report. I really appreciate the views you guys give us. We've been lacking in content just because we've actually been going to, like, tournaments or play testing very heavily for the regionals that we're attending. So it's been kind of rough getting content up, but we will be starting to again now that regional season is essentially here. Like I said, I have another one in February to go to in my state in Rochester, so I won't be as tired when I do the profile that time, and I don't even know what deck I'm going to play. I may end up, reverting back to water depending upon the ban list if Colossus gets hit to 1. I'm probably just going to go back to water. If not that, maybe Pendulum. Worst case scenario, I can do the Crusader Guard Dragon deck that I have. So either way, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Eric here with TeamEccenTrick, and I'm signing out. Rate and subscribe, leave your comments and ideas in the comment section below, and don't hesitate to give us respectful suggestions on content you want to see. Eric on behalf of the team saying take care, and TeamEccenTrick out.